It's State of the City Day.
Good luck with these feet, Dad. Here's your coffee.
Thanks, Pooh.
Honey, your keys!
No time. I'll see you there. Love you. Good morning. Can I get one? Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Coffee to go.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Wow. This turned out great. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Mayor Jensen!
Yes. Nope. Hey Noblesville, it's Mayor Chris Jensen coming to you from City Hall for another edition of the Friday Five. Great progress.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live and on stage, your hometown mayor, Chris Jensen.
Thank you, everybody. A little Miley hype music, huh? We debated that earlier. They asked what my walk-on song should be, and I suggested that, and Tara Tegens, my assistant right back, she goes, "You're just playing with us, right?" I go, "No. A little Miley Cyrus party in the USA is good for everybody, right? Are we having a good day?" Welcome to the #1 ranked outdoor amphitheater in the world. Ruoff, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I've got to say, this is Chamber of Commerce weather, or we like to call it just a Tuesday in Noblesville. So this is pretty great. I know for many of you, this might be a different viewpoint for you. You're facing the wrong way. It's daylight, and most of you seem pretty coherent. So this might be a different experience here at Ruoff for you. So we're glad to have you here. I want to thank Andrew Newport and his team at Live Nation. Can you give them a round of applause for putting this together? I hope you enjoy the VIP experience. I also want to thank Bob Dubois and the Chamber of Commerce. They put a lot of hard work in today. This is not a normal setup for them. I can tell you also they had a golf outing last week, and they have a school board candidate forum tomorrow night. So these guys are pretty busy in the city of Noblesville. So I want to thank them for all that they've done. And I want to thank my team, our communications team, Lexi Rock, Robert Harrington. So many people have pitched in to make today possible. So if you could just give them an all-encompassing round of applause, I'd appreciate that. And I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon here at Ruoff. I want to thank my friends and family. The First Lady of Noblesville is here, ladies and gentlemen. Julie Jensen, stand up. Give everybody a wave. Also, two of my very best friends are here, my two oldest kids for the very first time, CJ and Vivian. Can you guys stand up and wave real quick? Yes. Vivian really just wanted to see herself in that hype video. She was pretty excited about that. She informed me this morning that she was concerned that she's not as good on a microphone as Mom and I. I told her she's only 9, so she has a ways to go. But such an honor to have them here and many family and friends as well. So thank you for being here. I'm hopeful that the next half an hour of your life is an enjoyable one for you. You're going to sit back. We're going to take you on a little ride through Noblesville to talk about all the things that we have done in 5 years. It's hard to believe that 4.5 years ago, I stood on stage just down the road from here at Embassy Suites to talk about a vision for Noblesville's next chapter. And in 5 years, we've accomplished a lot, and that a lot of it has to do with your help. So I want to thank you for coming alongside us here today as we take this ride through and talk about the many factors that go into the city of Noblesville. 4.5 years ago, I told you a little bit about chasing a lion, and I'll refer to lion chasers throughout the day today. That is a book by Mark Batterson, one of my personal favorite authors, and it refers to dreaming big. And if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And so I'm excited that so many lion chasers have joined us here today to talk about the future of the city of Noblesville. Now, I couldn't talk about the future without diving into our first topic. It's one that I love, and based on the amount of contractors here today, it's one that many of you love, and it's infrastructure. Now, I know that might not get everyone's blood boiling. Rick Connor's sure happy about it back there. But I can tell you it's essential in the city of Noblesville. If Indiana is, in fact, the crossroads of America, then I believe that Noblesville is the crossroads of Indiana. And so I want to talk a little bit about how we get across Noblesville. And if you have been under a rock for the past 10 years, then you are not going to know what Pleasant Street is. But hopefully most of you haven't been, and you've known a little bit about this project that I want to hit on here today. Pleasant Street is one that we have documented back to the early 1980s when we discussed a new bridge over the White River. In 1995, one of my predecessors, Mary Sue Rowland, had the foresight to put Pleasant Street on our city's thoroughfare plan. In 1999, we did a cost estimate, and then we continued to study that project for a little while. It's a difficult one. It is transformational for this community. I said from day one, anytime you put a new corridor east to west through our community, it's going to be a tough conversation. There's going to be tough conversations with business owners. There's going to be tough conversations with homeowners. And we've had those conversations because we knew long-term it was the right thing to do. And I'm proud to say that next week, Allie Krupski, we are going to cut the ribbon on phase 1 of Pleasant Street after 40 years. We haven't done this alone. We've certainly had great partners with our friends at Hamilton County who are funding the bridge. I saw Councilor Mark Hall out there. I see Ken Alexander's here as well. Thank you for coming alongside us. Our friends at the Indianapolis MPO have pitched in some money as well. This $125 million transformational project is not just a roadway. It is truly a corridor. It has over nearly 1,800 new trees along that corridor. And after this summer, I'm going to say that one more time. 1,800 new trees along that corridor, as we are a tree city, as a matter of fact. It has 6 roundabouts. There are over 200 people working on that project here in the city of Noblesville. And it will all include 70,000 tons of asphalt. But most importantly, for you, the taxpayer, you need to know that this project is on time, 40 years later, on time and under budget. And I'm really, really excited about that. And so with that in mind, we are going to have next Wednesday, the 26th, a party on Pleasant. We invite each and every one of you to bring your friends on out. There'll be food, there'll be drinks, they'll be able to see the artwork along the trail network. The Midland Trace Trail runs adjacent to Pleasant Street, so please make time next week to celebrate this huge community asset with us that is Pleasant Street. And this might actually be the last state of the city that I highlight an opening of Pleasant Street, because phases 2 and 3 will be open about a year from now and have a full road there as you're able to cross east to west throughout the city of Noblesville. Now, I have to talk a little bit about our friends at the State Department of Transportation. They're good people. Trust me, they're good people. This summer, I didn't think they were great people. Just teasing. We're fortunate enough to have great state roads flowing through our downtown community. And I want to highlight 2 major projects that they undertook this summer. You might have heard about it. Our main artery is State Road 32, Connor Street, through downtown Noblesville. It is a historic road in a historic part of our city. And I said the greatest thing about having a historic downtown is that underneath those historic downtown is historic infrastructure. So several years ago when NDOT came and said, hey, we're going to need to close that main road through downtown Noblesville. You okay with that, Mayor? My hands were tied. It's never a good time to close that road, but I've got to say the work that they have done to rehab all of State Road 32 has opened up a beautiful new corridor with much needed upgrades, not just to the roadway, but to the drainage system in our downtown as well. So I want to thank them for that. I also want to thank the many merchants who were impacted by that project. With the foresight of our council leadership, who I'll talk about here in a minute, we set aside some grant funding for those small businesses to help bridge that gap, to make sure that they were able to make payroll, to make their rent payments, to make sure that they stayed open even during a hectic time for them with that road closure. And they were able to do that. They showed great grit throughout that time, and it was greatly appreciated. Another major project our friends at the State Department of Transportation are undertaking is a new roundabout on State Road 38. If you're a West Sider like myself, you've known that the entrance to Oakmont and Whitcomb Ridge has long been a dangerous intersection. They were able, after an 18-month process because of some climate issues, to open that roundabout just this past year as well. Again, all focused on moving traffic east to west throughout the city of Noblesville in an easier way. Now, I say all these things gracefully, but it was a challenge for all of us, and I want to thank the community of Noblesville for being gracious through these projects. Some partnerships that we have with the State Department of Transportation coming up to look forward to. The Logan Street roundabout. If you come in on town on State Road 38, there'll be a new roundabout actually at Logan Street, which is where the Taco Bell, KFC, and Key Bank, for you key landmark people in Noblesville, is located. That roundabout will again help increase traffic through our community. Also, coming up here in 2026, the state will be widening State Road 32 all the way from downtown Westfield into downtown Noblesville. I'm just going to say that one more time. The state's going to widen the entire road all the way, State Road 38, from Westfield to Noblesville, which will be a huge challenge, but an amazing opportunity for our community. My staff laughs at that because I always say nothing's bad. It's just an opportunity for us, an opportunity to converse with the public and let them know about wonderful opportunities like this. So be on the lookout for that amazing opportunity coming up here in the near future. Now I want to pivot and talk about the secret sauce of Noblesville, and that's our downtown. I would say Noblesville's downtown is our unique differentiator. That's what people, quite frankly, in other communities all around us, of which I won't say their names, but they're all trying to recreate, and they never will. We have an historic downtown that last year celebrated 200 years in existence, our bicentennial. And I want to talk about some of the neat steps that we're taking in downtown. First, I want to tell you a little bit about Dora. Now, my kids will lighten up and think that I'm talking about Dora the Explorer. I'm not. Several years ago, along with other cities across the state of Indiana and the Chamber of Commerce and Hamilton County Tourism, we went down to the legislature to lobby on behalf of Dora. Dora stands for Designated Outdoor Refreshment Area. What this was designed to do was to allow safely individuals 21 years of age and older to visit a local restaurant that has opted in to the Dora program. Say you want to get a glass of wine or a mixed drink, you can get a special Dora cup, and you can take that drink then out in the Dora designated area, and you can sip and shop. You can walk along the sidewalks, you can go into stores that have a sign that allows for Dora drinks within them. Stores that don't allow that simply have a sign that says no Dora drinks allowed in this area. This program is done alongside our public safety officials to cut government red tape and to promote small businesses in our community, which is, I think, is those issues that we all can stand behind. We're really excited about this. I want to thank my good friend Aaron Head in the city of Noblesville, who has spearheaded this Dora program, and he has been quite frankly, an example for communities all across the state of Indiana. Give him a round of applause. Speaking of great partners in downtown, where's Kate Baker? Is Kate Baker in the room somewhere? Noblesville Main Street? Okay, let's just pretend like she raised her hand there. And we say, yeah, Kate Baker, Noblesville Main Street is an incredible partner of ours. They help promote our small business and our downtown core. They're the ones who every Saturday run our farmers market that has seen record attendance. We have over 100 vendors every Saturday with an average attendance of over 3,000 people coming and going through our farmers market. They're the ones that are putting on our street dance, our First Friday, and our Fall Fest. They are a key partner for us within the city of Noblesville, and we couldn't do it without Noblesville Main Street. Speaking of groups that we couldn't do it without, I want to talk a little bit about our friends at the Peony Festival. Hopefully, if you've been to Noblesville, you've heard about the Peony Festival, and I always laugh that I've gotten through 5 years of saying the word peony over and over and over and never used the wrong word. It's pretty impressive. It's a real test. 4 years ago, a group of individuals, community volunteers, came into my office. Esther Lakes is one of them, and I'm sure she's here somewhere. It's right down front. Came into my office and she said, Mayor, we're going to have an event around the peony flower, and it's going to attract thousands of people to Noblesville. And I said, you sure are, Esther. You're going to get those thousands of people to come downtown for that flower, aren't you? Well, shame on me, because about 3 weeks later, 10,000 people descended that very first year into Seminary Park. Borderline hazardous, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen. But since then, this past year alone, mind you, the Peony Festival happened when that main artery was closed in downtown, and we had over 50,000 people at the Peony Festival because of the vision of people like Esther Lakes and Kelly McVeigh and Lindsay McVeigh. The McVeigh sisters are actually mother and daughter, but they look like sisters, are absolute lion chasers who dreamed this vision to make Indiana and to make Noblesville the peony capital of the world. And in fact, on the night before the Peony Festival, hopefully you've been able to come to our VIPP event. Very important peony people get to come to Seminary Park and enjoy wonderful events. And it doesn't just happen in the park. Restaurants all over our city participate in the Peony Trail. They'll have drinks and food specials that weekend, all designed around promoting commerce, promoting our state flower, and promoting our city of Noblesville. So again, thank you to the McVeigh, Kelly and Lindsay McVeigh, for your vision on that. With that, I have a special announcement. The festival's just not enough. We have to celebrate the peony all year round. And I can tell you, as we get ready to break ground on Phase 2 of Finch Creek Park just up the road, the Peony Festival World Headquarters will be located on the grounds of Finch Creek Park. So they have a 12-month, around-the-clock headquarters right here in the city of Noblesville. And we're excited to partner with them and envision what the peony capital of Indiana will be with their very own peony headquarters right here in Noblesville. I want to thank Andy Card and his team at Klipsch Clark & Associates for helping us envision that going forward. So we're excited to continue to celebrate the peony and continue to use that word all year round as we celebrate an incredible flower and an incredible economic driver for our city. Now let's take a trip downtown Noblesville. One of our newest assets is a north to south trail called Nickel Plate Trail. It connects downtown Indianapolis to downtown Fishers to downtown Noblesville. The pavement that has been laid on that trail, and it's now time to envision what that trail looks like going forward. We believe that a trail is simply not just a piece of pavement for walking or running or rollerblading, as my brothers would make fun of me for doing when I was a kid. But it is for commerce and connectivity. So over the next several months, you're going to see us take a look at what belongs on that trail, what restaurants belong on those trails, what retail outlets belong on that trail, what livable options belong on the Nickel Plate Trail. And we're really excited to see what that can do for commerce and connectivity from our neighbors to the south as they come up to Noblesville. Speaking of envisioning our downtown, our next chapter is going to take a look at not just the downtown core, but the entry points to downtown. We're getting ready to embark on a massive gateway study in the city of Noblesville, taking a look at both entrances to the east and to the west, and envisioning what that looks like as we embark into our downtown. I want to thank our friends at MKSK for helping to guide this conversation along. And to date, we've had over 1,200 individuals who live in Noblesville, work in Noblesville, play in Noblesville, give their feedback to this survey, and we really appreciate that. On the east side, we're looking at envisioning an entrance that involves academic and study with our friends at Ivy Tech that are there as well as Noblesville High School being on the east side of Noblesville. On the west side, we envision a more active health environment with our friends at Riverview Health anchoring the west side entrance to the city of Noblesville. We're excited about what that will do going forward, and we invite you to participate in those surveys going forward as well. Speaking of downtown and entry points, I have to give a big shout out to my friend John Hart and our friends at JC Hart and the East Bank building. They certainly have transformed what it looks like to come across the White River Bridge on Connor Street into downtown Noblesville. What once was a difficult site as you traveled into our community is now a beautiful building that will have retail and restaurants as well as parking right on Noblesville. We're excited about that going forward. It's going to, like I said, open. It's fully open now. The second building will open shortly, and we'll have a new restaurant announced for the first floor of that in the near future. Speaking of new projects, Several weeks ago, we announced a new project called the Granery in downtown Noblesville. This is the first project along the Pleasant Street corridor, along the Nickel Plate Trail. This is a partnership with our friends at Flaherty and Collins. I want to thank Jerry Collins and his team. This is a $67 million mixed-use project that will be home to 225 luxury apartments, 5,000 square feet of retail space, and 300 parking spaces, as well as public parking available. This site is where the Nickel Plate, the Riverwalk, and the Midland Trace Trail will converge. It happens to also sit on a very historic area of town, the original site of the Noblesville Milling Company. Now, we are the Noblesville Millers, and you can see where the Noblesville Millers have derived their names. My friends at Noblesville Schools down here to my right. So we're really excited about this. We look forward to breaking ground on this in 2025, with this project opening in 2027. Now, with all the new growth that we've seen in Noblesville, the 9th largest city in the state of Indiana, one of the fastest growing communities across the Midwest, we need to focus heavily on the jobs of the future. And I want to talk a little bit about economic development in our community. First, I want to say that over the last several years, we have shifted our focus, not just to focus on what Noblesville can do around jobs of the future, but what Central Indiana can do around those jobs of the future. I know some of our friends at the Indy Chamber of Commerce are here, and I appreciate them guiding us through this conversation as well. I am excited that several years ago, we launched a new initiative called CIRTA, the Central Indiana Regional Development Authority. I sit as vice chair of that board, and it includes 26 different cities in Central Indiana, and one county, Hamilton County, is a member of that as well. Already for the Central Indiana region, we have acquired and been able to obtain over $90 million of funding from the state and federal government to go into local quality of life projects right here in Central Indiana. You'll see some of that work in Innovation Mile with a $4 million grant that the city of Noblesville obtained through CIRTA to build a new pedestrian parkway going into Innovation Mile. Speaking of Innovation Mile, I couldn't do a State of the City speech without talking about this marquee development in our city, one that is really just about a half a mile over my left shoulder to get to Innovation Mile. This is the brainchild of our Economic Development Director, Andrew Murray, who I saw a few minutes ago. He does a heck of a job, and he envisioned this several years ago, and we announced it right here at the State of the City. This is a 600-acre master plan site that's going to be looking at the jobs of the future, the housing of the future, the mobility of the future, and the jobs of the future. This area is right on I-69, and it's where folks can live, work, and play all in a similar space with great access to road network, great schools, and great businesses, and oh, by the way, great entertainment. When you have a 26,000-seat outdoor amphitheater just out your back door, it's an awesome opportunity to live here on the east side of Noblesville and work on the east side of Noblesville. I want to thank our friends Patch Development and WSP who've come alongside and helped us master plan that site. Currently, our friends at Borg Warner have their North American Innovation headquarters right in Innovation Mile. In first quarter of 2020, in 2025, we will open the Joint Replacement Institute, a $35 million joint replacement institute where surgeries will happen and research will happen. Dr. Michael Meneghini and his team have done an awesome job envisioning what that looks like within Innovation Mile. And oh, by the way, if you see a crane moving, that is the new Noblesville Event Center. You may have heard through the grapevine that we will be home to the new Pacers G League team right here in the city of Noblesville. World-class basketball. I know our friends from the Indiana Pacers are down here, and I really appreciate their commitment to Noblesville and what this will look like. This event center is a 3,500-seat event center with a 1,000-spot parking garage attached to it. It's scheduled to open in 2025, and basketball will be played there almost immediately. We're really excited about that. This will have locker rooms, a full kitchen, as well as 6 luxury suites to watch prime basketball, entertainment. Also, it will be home to different events such as trade shows and conferences right here in Noblesville. I want to thank our friends F.A. Wilhelm, Ratio and Populous, American Structure Point, as well as CHA for serving as our owner's rep on this amazing transformational project for the east side of Noblesville. Now, I will tell you, people ask me all the time, what's the team's new name? They won't be the Mad Ants. Right now, all I can tell you is that they're the Noblesville somethings. There won't be the somethings, right? There'll be the Noblesville somethings. So at some point in time, the Pacers will let you in on that. But we're really excited about that because that will have Noblesville's name in 26 markets all across the United States as well as in Canada and Mexico as we talk about professional basketball right here in the city of Noblesville. Also on the east side of Noblesville, this year we broke ground on a brand new neighborhood called the Finch Creek by Del Webb. I want to thank our friends at Pulte Group as well as TWG Development who helped us envision this. This new project will be one of the biggest housing developments allowed and open on the east side of Noblesville. What you may or may not know is that when we took office 5 years ago, you actually couldn't flush a toilet on the east side of Noblesville, right, John Ditzler? He knows it well. And because of some great city leaders and attorneys, we got it figured out, and we're going to be flushing toilets to this massive neighborhood, right, Dave Compton, here very soon. This 603-acre, previously annexed into East Noblesville, will be mixed-use development. When it's all said and done, will be valued at over $700 million in market value there. It has 10,000 square feet of commercial space, 690 age-restricted resident Del Webb units, 535 single-family homes as well. It'll have a 14,000 square foot amenity center, which includes indoor pool, along with sport courts, pocket parks, pickleball, yes, pickleball courts right here in Del Webb. We're excited to get that offered up to the folks on the east side of Noblesville here shortly. Now, we spent a lot of time here on East Noblesville. Let's travel to the other side of the city, West Noblesville, an area I'm very familiar with and grew up in. I want to talk a little bit about the new development at Prominade. That is at the northeast corner of State Road 38 and State Road 32 and Hazeldale Parkway. There's a lot of dirt moving there, and I can tell you what it's going towards. Our friends at the Justice Companies have opened Prominade Trails, which is a 55 and better, by the way, I've been corrected multiple times, in that 55 and better neighborhood on the west side of Noblesville. I got to go to their tiki themed, that's why Bob Dubois is in a Hawaiian shirt, by the way, in these photos. It was a luau themed ribbon cutting, which I was really excited to be at. So that is well under construction. And also, I will say, Walt Justice and Janie Justice and the company, the Justice Companies, has been a generational family company, housed on the east side of Indianapolis for many decades and generations. They made an announcement this year that they love Noblesville so much, Walt Justice, that he's moving his entire corporate headquarters to Noblesville, Indiana, making a $10 million investment right in the city of Noblesville, which we're really excited about and appreciate all that he's doing. Relocating employees, growing employees, they are the type of company that we want to see continuing to grow and stay in the city of Noblesville. So thank you again, Walt, for your vision for that corner of Noblesville and for doubling down by bringing your entire crew up here. I also want to jump the highway and go to the south side of State Road 32, to Midland Point at State Road 32 and Hazeldale Parkway. There's a lot of dirt moving in this area. I'm personally excited for the new crew car wash that has both interior and exterior. Okay, any baseball parent can appreciate that, right? So thank you to our friend Bill Dahm and his team for locating Crew Car Wash, an interior and exterior right there in the corner. In all seriousness, this mixed-use area, 34 acres, will have residential, it'll have retail, it'll have new restaurants, and yes, we'll have that new car wash there in Noblesville as well, which we're really excited about. This is really transforming the west side of Noblesville for generations to come. Another new announcement I'm excited to announce for the very first time today. People ask me all the time, what's one of your favorite spots in Noblesville? I often say, I grew up on Morris Reservoir. We've had a boat my entire life and still have one today. I love being on the water. And I'm excited to announce with our friends at Lore Development, Adam Hill and his team are going to be developing Morris Village. This is going to be at 206th and Hague Road. Now, before you come after me and rush the stage, there will be a new roundabout at 206th and Hague Road that can handle, yes, Andy Hahn, that can handle the traffic capacity up there. This new project will be a 174-acre master plan site valued at nearly $250 million of investment in this area. 30 acres will be dedicated to green space in this site as well. There'll be over 6 miles of trail connectivity over and around Morris Reservoir. It'll truly be a gateway entry point to Morris Reservoir with the housing and amenities of the future for those that live up near the reservoir area. We're excited to have more details of that project in the coming months. I want to end my remarks on economic development on a topic that I think is incredibly important. I've said for a long time that one of the biggest existential threats facing our state is population growth. We are fortunate enough to be one of the few states in the Midwest that is growing, but we've got to continue to grow. If we're going to have the jobs of the future, the housing of the future, the infrastructure of the future, we have to have the workforce of the future. And ladies and gentlemen, we have to do it without a mountain range, without an ocean. But we have great amphitheaters, we have quality schools, we have low cost of living, and awesome quality of life. And we've got to drive that home forward. We've partnered with a program called Make My Move. I want to talk a little bit about that because there's been some misconceptions around Make My Move. Make My Move was spurned after the pandemic to attract remote workers to Indiana. We want to attract those folks that are living maybe in coastal communities and not enjoying their quality of life. Make My Move to incentivize them to come to the city of Noblesville. Tell you that just a month ago, I was at National Night Out, which is a program that featured our public safety officials at Ivy Tech. I was there, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw this family staring at me and pointing at me, usually a bad sign. But they came up to me and they said, "Are you the mayor?" Also, usually a bad sign. And I said, "That's usually what they call me. That's the nicest thing I've been called today, actually." And they almost with tears in their eyes said, "We just moved here from Miami, Florida." My obvious first question, what brought you here from Miami, Florida? And they said, we're a part of the Make My Move program. We own a small business that we were able to bring to Noblesville. We brought our small business to Noblesville. We brought our incomes to Noblesville. We brought our 2 kids that were in elementary school. They go to Stony Creek Elementary. And they said, "We're so honored to be here." Our kids came home the first day at school and said they didn't have any bullies in their class. And that, to me, was almost overwhelming to hear that story. And to know not only was it the right thing for them to move their family here, but it was the economic opportunity for them to move their family here. So today, I want to tell you that so far, the average income of movers to Noblesville from this program is nearly $150,000 a year. We've attracted 73 new households, 187 new residents, 22 single people, 106 married people, 59 kids, 24 home buyers with an average purchase price of $477,000, 49 renters with an average lease of $1,700. Noblesville has had 7,400 applicants who have met our criteria. And there is strict criteria that's in place in order for you to take advantage of this program. The press coverage that we've received has hit over 291 million viewers and is valued at $2.6 million. The estimated annual economic impact on the city of Noblesville from this program alone is $7.1 million. These programs are out-of-the-box thinking that are bringing the right type of people, the right workers to the city of Noblesville, and we're excited to partner with them going forward. I just wanted to spend a minute to get the facts out on this great program as we grow our economy, grow our city, and look to the future. Now, I want to talk a little bit about public safety, my favorite topic. I always say you can't have a city without a safe city. It is our job, number one, when my alarm goes off in the morning, and I nudge a kid out of my way, out of my bed, the first thing I think about is keeping 77,000 people safe every single day. It is our number one priority. And with that, I want to thank our police chief, John Mann, and our fire chief, Matt Mitchell. Could you guys stand up and be recognized on behalf of your departments? Because of our chief's innovative thinking, we were recently ranked the 12th safest suburb in the United States by Smart Assets, which is a huge deal for Noblesville, Indiana. I believe that we are reinventing how we view public safety in the city of Noblesville. When we came into office, took a quick scan of our budget. 50.1% of our annual operating budget goes to public safety. But I can tell you that we're not fighting many fires. Well, we're not even writing that many speeding tickets. We're not even writing that many speeding tickets in Noblesville, right, Chief? A lot of warnings. There you go. But what I can tell you is we are dealing with folks that have mental health challenges in our community. Those that are battling addiction, those that are battling anxiety, depression, homelessness, food insecurity, all sorts of opportunities. And so we knew that we had to reinvent and rethink about how we viewed public safety. And that's why we launched our Noble Act program. I've told you about Noble Act in the past. It's a proactive paramedicine program that takes a look and seeks out those at risk, those at risk. I'm going to duck and weave with this. Those at-risk individuals in our community that have unique challenges. And I always say that those that are at risk in our community look like you and me. They are our friends. They are our neighbors. They are our brothers. They are our sisters. They're our moms and our dads. And oftentimes those individuals simply need a hand up to get back on track in life. And that's what Noble Act is designed for. We're lucky because of a generous donor to have 3 public therapy safety dogs in our community. We have dogs that catch bad guys and it hurts. And we have 3 therapy dogs that cuddle up to good guys and make sure that you stay safe. Luna, Carbon, and Sadie go with us on runs into homes where there might be a domestic violence situation. They go into schools when there's a false fire drill every once in a while, right, Dan? It happens, right? Sometimes the kids get upset and they go and cuddle up in their laps. They go on serious runs where veterans are suffering from PTSD outbreaks and might be suicidal. They can instantly sense anxiety. They can sense fear. And they cuddle up in the laps of at-risk and vulnerable citizens and help them process their emotions. I'm also proud of the fact that Sadie is solely focused internally. Her job is to make sure our officers go home to a safe environment, making sure that they process their emotions appropriately so that they can go be the husband, the father, the mother, the sister that they need to be going forward. So I'm really proud. I'm also really proud that Luna is taking a nap basically right over here in the corner. Give her a round of applause, and her handler, Ben Luger, as well. I also want to thank Trevor Hash and Bryce Swart for their commitment as well. We know that public safety and mental health is a daily conversation in Noblesville. I'm proud of the work that we've done to make it a daily conversation in Noblesville. It's so important that even all 3 of our county commissioners right now are having a mental health roundtable with our Lieutenant Governor. I appreciate that they acknowledge the importance of mental health and are focused not only on the mental health of our community, but their mental health as well. So I appreciate the commitment that they're taking. We know how important this is that last year we went down and lobbied the General Assembly to tell our story. We knew Noble Act is working in Noblesville. We've had 7,000 runs for service in Noblesville alone in the past 3 years. We went down to the legislature to ask them to come alongside communities and give out some grant dollars to help start up programs like this all across the state of Indiana. I'm proud, and I want to thank my good friend Senator Scott Baldwin and Representative Chuck Goodrich for helping spearhead this effort. Where are they? I think they're here today. Give them a round of applause, please. Their foresight and leadership are going to help us start these programs all across the state of Indiana and help make Indiana a safer, more healthy state going forward. Speaking of making sure that we double down on public safety, for decades, we have talked about the health and well-being of our officers in Noblesville. Did you know that currently our public safety building was designed and opened in 1992 when our population was 20,000 people? Well, I am proud to say that today we are making a declaration that there will be a new public safety building in the city of Noblesville here in the near future. You're seeing some beautiful renderings behind me here today, and I'm really excited that with more than 100 dedicated police officers, they need a state-of-the-art facility to operate out of. Noble Act needs space to operate out of. And I can tell you, with the help of many, we evaluated many different sites around the city to put this new public safety building. And with the support of our friends at the FOP and with their endorsement, we will be moving forward with the Bridgestone Firestone site, which is on the south end of town. An area of town that if you've driven by it, you know it needs a shot in the arm. What better shot than to give the men and women of the Noblesville Police Department a brand new headquarters, a new innovative learning space, and throw our weight behind them to make sure that they know that they are supported going forward. I'm excited to break ground on this in the second half of 2025, and as you can see, the initial renderings are beautiful, and we are excited to stand beside them moving forward. Now, on the fire side, I can tell you our firefighters and our team are in full-fledged recruitment mode. So if you're looking for a change in career, ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity. The Noblesville Fire Department is looking for you. To date, we have invested over $200,000 in physical wellness for our public safety officials on the fire side. We've dedicated nearly $60,000 to mental wellness, making sure that that is a priority for our administration. Just this year, with our city council's support, we were able to launch our 5th ambulance into service here in the city of Noblesville. So I want to thank our first responders for leading by example, making sure that they are the best and the brightest that are working to call Noblesville home and keep you safe every single day. Now, finally, I want to spend a few moments talking a little bit about the vision of Noblesville, and how we tell our story from the inside out. I think it's important, and I love Indiana. I would say we have a huge dose of Hoosier humility across the state of Indiana. I think we need to chuck that Hoosier humility to the side and go tell our story as a city, as a county, as a venue, and as a state. Recently, this past summer, I got a chance to be elected to the leadership team of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. I'm excited to join mayors from all 50 states across the United States to forward the conversation around infrastructure, around mental health, around housing, around public infrastructure and job creation in our communities. I'm excited to get going and hear from those across the state of Indiana and across the nation who have tackled these challenges and learn from them. And oh, by the way, tell them the way we're doing it in the city of Noblesville, which I'm excited about. I'm also excited that my predecessor, John Ditzler, who I already called out here, 6 years ago, had the foresight to launch the Mayor's Youth Council. It is so important that if we want to have the jobs of the future, the workforce of the future, the housing of the future, that we understand and listen to our future residents. We have some members of the Mayor's Youth Council that are here today. Can you guys stand up and be recognized? They were really excited earlier today because they were missing school. Now they realize they would be home by now, so they're not as excited. But this is a great partnership, and I want to thank Dr. Dan Heil and his team at Noblesville Schools for letting us to do such a great program. This is the best and the brightest in Noblesville, coming alongside, sharing their ideas. They're focused on youth in our community, health and well-being, diversity and environmental issues, and they're speaking to us on a weekly basis. Lexi Rock and our team is helping to spearhead that effort. And I can tell you they meet on Tuesday mornings at 7:30 in the morning. That takes some commitment for a high school kid to be there at 7:30. So I appreciate all that they are doing. A year ago, we also launched the Mayor's Council, Advisory Council on Disabilities. I want to thank Deputy Mayor Matt Light, who gave me that booming introduction earlier, as well as Lexi Rock and their team for envisioning what this looks like. This is our commitment to making our community more accessible and inclusive for all individuals, including those with disabilities. Their focus is to work with our chamber, our business leaders, our school system, and other community organizations to ensure that we are changing the conversation on what accessibility looks like in the city of Noblesville. You might have met my good friend Jen Weezy and her team handing out lemonade with Be Free right back there. They're phenomenal, by the way. She's one of the people on our advisory council, and she is leading the way with on-the-job training with individuals with disabilities. So I hope you got a chance to meet them today and showcase what they are doing. Again, I want to thank Matt Light, Lexi Rock, and Reese Bowen, our summer intern who's here today, for the work that they have done. And I would invite each and every one of you on October 3rd to City Hall. We'll be hosting our next Disability Resource Fair from 6 to 7:30. It was standing room only at the last one, and I know it's going to be a full house on October 3rd, so please come and join us. Now, I can't do this job alone. I oftentimes get to be the messenger, to stand up here to tell you the great news, to tell you all the great things that are happening in the city of Noblesville. But I am so honored every single day to serve alongside our city council. At this point in time, I'm going to ask them to stand and be recognized. These 9 individuals, as well as our city clerk, Evelyn Lees, and our city court judge, Matt Cook, serve with distinction every single day. It doesn't take you long to look in the Indy Star or any other newspaper and see communities bickering at one another, taking their fights to the papers or the news media. I can tell you in Noblesville, we do that just behind closed doors and respectfully. Just teasing. But we do actually have great conversations. We're allowed to disagree and do it civilly, something our nation could take a page out of going forward. I am so proud to serve alongside them, to be on the same page with them. They make me every single day a better mayor, and I'm honored to serve with them, and I thank them for their service to the city of Noblesville. Finally, I want to thank the 500 people who get up every single day and come to work on behalf of the city of Noblesville. This past year, we launched a new initiative called NOBL. It's a way to incentivize our lion chasers every single day to spot those around them that are acting nobly, that are helping people, who are giving back to their community or department, and displaying overall noble characteristics. You'll see noble stands for acting nobly. You're humble, you're compassionate, you're genuine. You're taking ownership of your projects. You're taking responsibility for your strengths and your weaknesses. You're being brave. You're chasing the lion like Benaiah does in 2 Samuel from the book that I talked about earlier. You're showing leadership. You're proactive in your problem solving and your decision making, and you're engaged. You're collaborating with your different department heads, with those within your department on big ideas. I think it's very important that we support those who go to work on behalf of the city of Noblesville every single day and show that they are leading by example and being noble. I want to thank our HR director, Holly Ramone, who helped roll out that program this year. We're excited to continue to talk about the noble acts that are happening within the city of Noblesville going forward. So in conclusion, I just want to thank each and every one of you for allowing me to stand up here and tell you about my hometown, a city that I truly believe is Indiana's hometown. I pinch myself every day when I get out of bed to go represent 75,000 people with many different opinions about the future of the city of Noblesville, working together to make sure that Noblesville is a safe place, a place to do business, a place to raise your family in wonderful schools, and a place you can get around safely with solid infrastructure. We couldn't do it without everyone in this room, from our business partners to consultants to individual family members who are standing behind us, standing beside us, who are cheering us on. I am so excited about Noblesville's next chapter and what the future holds. What a beautiful day to be out here and showcase this. So thank you on behalf of everyone at the city of Noblesville. Thank you for allowing me to serve as your mayor and for sharing these good words today. God bless each and every one of you, and have a fantastic Tuesday here in the city of Noblesville. Thanks so much.